Hey guys, how you doing? Today we're going to be working on a flipping box icon, as you can see. Excellent for your social media or dice needs. Anyway, so what we've got we're using icons from Font Awesome. If you don't know how to do that, check out our video on that. And we got container class and three cube classes for one cube class for the three different cubes. And within each cube, we have a class for the size, which is a side class for the position. It's just back, left, front, and a size for the color of the box, which is YouTube or gray or Twitter. All right, you'll see how all that works in the CSS. And you got the source code, so if you got to pause it and take a look at the source code, totally do that, right? So, basic reset. Padding 0, margin 0, box sizing, border box. Our body height, 100 viewport height. And color black. Font family, sans serif. Display flex. Line items, center. Center again. All right. Okay, so that's our, yeah, it looks absolutely nothing right now, our HTML. So we're going to start styling our container. Now our containers contain the cubes. So we're going to give them their space within the screen on the display. So width 150 pixels, right? And perspective 1000 pixels. That's pretty much our distance from us. That's the worst explanation you can probably hear of perspective, but I can get into that more. Any questions? Q&A. So we're going to start our cubes. We're going to position relative width 100 pixels, height 100 pixels, and transform. Sorry. Transform style, preserve 3D, and transition transform for 2 seconds ease. All right, because we're going to have a transition with our hover effect that causes the rotating cube. Now we're going to style all our different sides. Now, as it's a cube, all our sides are going to be identical. Position absolute, width 100 pixels, height 100 pixels, text align, center, and display flex, justify, content center, align items center. Great. You can't actually see them yet because we haven't added color. So I'll make that a background white. So we're going to style our YouTube side. Now YouTube red, so we're going to make that red. No, sorry. We're going to start by styling back. We're going to style all the backs of all the cubes and transform translate Z minus 50 pixels and rotate 180 degrees. Okay, and what we're doing, we're flipping it upside down, so after our rotate effect, it's the right way up. Side left, transform translate X minus 50 pixels, rotate minus 90 degrees. Rotate Y minus 90 degrees. Same again, it's to align our icons in the right direction. Side right, transform, translate 50 pixels on the X, sorry, translate X, rotate Y 90 degrees. All right, if you need to pause that and copy them down and figure them out, that's fine. If not, awesome. So, side front, transform, translate Z 50. No need to rotate because it's the right way up. Side top, transform, translate, minus 50 pixels, rotate X 100 degrees, or 90 degrees. No, definitely 90 degrees. Side, bottom, transform, translate Y 50 pixels, rotate X 90 degrees. All right, so we've built our cube, and we've really just styled all the cubes, so we can copy and paste as many times as we want and have as many cubes. You can use this for any video where you need a cube. Just an easy way of building a cube in CSS. So, our hover effect. When you hover over the cube, transform, rotate X 180 degrees, rotate Y 720. Now, it does that to all the sides, and because of the preserve 3D, it keeps its shape. If you can see, if you take off the preserve 3D, it just looks like a thin sheet of paper flipping. Anyway, we're going to style the icons. Font size 30 pixels, so you can actually see them. which is useful. Alright, I can see I forgot to add 50 pixels on our translate Z for the front. That's why it looked a little bit buggy. That'll fix that. Alright, now all our side gray within the cubes. Actually, I'm going to give them the color white, but I'm not going to go change the class now. Our icons are gray. That's the color which affects our font, and icons color are decided by font color. Anyway, side YouTube, we're going to give it a red background and color gray for the icon. Side Twitter, we'll give it a blue background. Good old Twitter colored background. And our final side, the Facebook side, also with blue. Guys, have a look at that. Oh, now we made a mistake somewhere because all our sides are blue. There you go. I forgot to change its name. Side Facebook, blue. And we'll delete the background because it's absolutely irrelevant. There we go. So, all our sides are white with gray icons except for the background side. Hope you enjoyed that. Any questions, ask in the Q&A. Take care. Hello guys, welcome. In this lecture, we're going to be working on a glowing button effect. Menu buttons. So we'll be using a list. We're going to be using a list to do it. That's one way. We gave it a class list and all our different list elements. Have a anchor tag, a link within them, and we're using font awesome icons for the icons within it. Reminding you, we have a video on how to get icons from font awesome. Alright, so in our CSS, we're going to do our basic reset. Padding 0, margin 0, box sizing, border box. You should be very, very familiar. You should be saying it out loud as it appears on the screen, or closing your eyes and saying it. You should know it. Height 100, viewport height, background black. Not quite black. Display flex, justify content center, align items center as well. Alright, that's what it looks like, which is pretty terrible at the moment. I'm just going to style our list. And just by applying the display flex, it already appears inline as opposed to, side by side as opposed to one on top of the other. Width 440 pixels, justify content, space between, which automatically defines the margins for us. Now, list style none removes the automatic styling that comes with it when it displays it in the browser, which is the little the bullet points by the side. Great. So we're defining all the different list items within the list class. Position relative, width 100 pixels, height 100 pixels, border radius 50%, which is how you make a circle. And the little purple things in the corner are the icons, which we haven't centered yet. So our background white, if you didn't notice when we clicked away to it. In which case I would suggest glasses. Okay. So now we're going to style our list links, which is our icons, and we're going to use a position absolute. Top 10 pixels, left 10 pixels, bottom left 10 pixels, and right 10 pixels. That's creating a smaller circle within the circle that already exists. We haven't given it color yet, background color, so you can't see it. And to put our icons in the center, we're going to use text align center. And our line height is 80 pixels. What that does is it really just centers our icon. And our background is black and our font color is white. That'll make the icon white, the background black. Font size 36 pixels. And border radius 50%. The transition, which is for letters, 2 seconds. There we go. You see it? And we got our icons and their backgrounds is the black circle, whereas the list item is the white circle. Okay, now we're going to create an after element and a before element to our list items. We're going to style them all together. An empty content string, absolute position, top 0, left 0, width 100%, and our background a linear gradient. (45°) with a bunch of different colors. And by a bunch, of course, I meant 2. Red and orange. Alright, you can use whatever colors you like. Remember, we're not, never mind, I thought of a joke, but I forgot it. So our border radius, 50%, z-index -1, which pushes it behind the other options. As you can see, the shadows at the back, and our filter is a blur of 10 pixels. Okay, so we're gonna take all our icons and give them just a little bit of text shadow. 2 pixels on the bottom with a 5-pixel blur. And gray, our favorite shadow color. Now we're gonna select the first icon, and we're gonna just, because we want a different color background for each of our 4 buttons. So we're gonna do that by selecting the before and after elements of each button. And we're gonna, I'll copy the background so it's not styling all of them. We'll just copy the background for the first one, and now for each of these different icons, we're going to just style using the nth element, and we'll give each one of them a different color. I'll speed up the video for a bit so we can fly through this. So change the number of the nth child, change the colors of your linear gradient. So if that wasn't exactly clear, what we're doing is we're selecting the element itself, and the before element and the after element of each different child, and we're giving them all the same color background. But each button gets a different linear gradient. Okay, so we have an unnecessary background style we're going to delete, and we're going to just add that blur. And now for all of our after elements, we're going to give them a blur of 40 pixels. Now we're defining their opacity of the blurred before and after elements as 0, because in our transition we want that to appear. So we're giving that in our animation we want that to appear. So we're going to transition of 1 second. Okay, so if you haven't understood, we have our opacity. Our opacity 0 applies to both the after and the before elements. So both the 40 pixel blur and the 10 pixel blur are blurred by the opacity. Great, so you can see that when we hover, we just turn the opacity to 1, and it appears with a transition of 1 second. We just removed that the border around the circles, the white. It helped us see what we were doing throughout the video. You don't have to do that. But I find it helps. So there you go, 4 glowing icons, and have at it. Hey guys, how you doing? Today we're going to be working on a cool activate button. Alright, you can see it has both a hover effect and a focus effect. We're using 2 different SVG icons and a span. Yeah, you can see we got our SVG icons within our anchor tag class activate. And this is what they look like before any styling. And our basic reset, padding 0, margin 0, and box sizing inherit. And in our HTML, we're going to edit box sizing border box. Now, in our body, we're going to give it a minimum height of 100 viewport height, and font family sans serif, display flex, justify content center, and align item center. The color will be an off white brownish. We're going to start adding our activate class. Give it a background color of purple. And padding 12 on the top and bottom. 12 all around. And our display will be flex, and our border radius 22 pixels. The color white, text color will be white. And font weight 500. Cursor pointer. And our transition 0.3 seconds. You can see it. There you go. Ease. Line height 20 pixels. Great. Now we're gonna edit the spans. The span, which contains both our icons, with display inline block with 20 pixels and height 20 pixels. We're making a small circle. Background white, border radius 50%. With position relative and our overflow hidden. As you can see that there, cool. Give it margin right 4 pixels, just to give us a little bit of space between the button and the text. Right, you can see the difference the line height makes, just pushing it up a little bit, making it look a little better. Now, we're going to edit our SVG icons within the span. Position absolute with 12 pixels, height 12 pixels so they fit in our circle. Left 50%, top 50%. And transform, translate. Stick them in the center. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to bring it forward on the screen by using Z-index1. Now we're going to edit each icon separately. The first one, we'll color it purple using fill. When using SVG icons, fill is like using color. And I'm going to give it a transition of 0.4 seconds using the cubic Bezier motion feature. Just type, just copy this one. You can find all sorts of different motion online. We're going to copy that and just do it to the second pseudo element, which is our second icon. And we're going to use the calc function. And we're going to do minus 50%, which is 6 pixels because of the height. And we're going to do another minus 20 pixels. Sorry, I had 20 pixels. And that'll bring our icon lower. You can see it there. Our icon is below, but you can't see because it's hidden overflow. Alright, we're going to add a hover effect and add a shadow above our box, 24 pixels. And another dark purple. Cool. Now we're going to activate, and we're going to add another hover effect, only for our first icon. And for each of the icons, we're just going to add 20 pixels in height so that it looks like they switch. Right? The bottom one rolls the top one out. Top one leaves the screen and the bottom one takes its place. Alright, like so. Exactly. Alright, that's cool. One more thing we want to add. When you click on the button, when you click on the link, it'll minimize slightly. Give you that feeling of click. I'm going to use the active function within activate. And transform, scale, 0.94, and we're going to add a shadow, green shadow a little bit along the sides and the top. Give it like a light green color. And now you can see how that looks. You see it minimizes and you get a little bit of a shadow. And last thing, gotta change the height and the width of the text also as we click. It stays with it. Alright, that's it. Cool. See you next time. Take care.